Happy Friday, everybody. It's Cody and
JB
here on the Brew and Orange Podcast, episode 9. So we're here again, another Friday. Hope everybody had a productive, healthy, safe work week, and I hope you're ready to hang out with the boys, talk Gator recruiting, local craft beers, and some Tampa sports. There it is.
Hey, before we get started, let me just point out, look at this shirt right here.
Oh,
look at this shirt right here.
So you can't read it, that's fine, don't matter. It's Brew and Orange. This is the new logo. If you have not seen it, please go ahead and check out brewingorange.com. The logo is now live on the website, the Twitter, Instagram. The Facebook is going to get a whole new restructure. The logo is going to be live everywhere.
There's going to be shirts available. Just let us know if you want one.
Please.
Let us know what size you are. They are going to be available, so just let us know.
Reach out to Justin. Reach out to myself. Anybody associated. We will do our best to work out the T-shirts. This is kind of brand new, but we are glad you're with us. We hope that you're ready for another Brew and Orange podcast. This is episode 9 coming in.
Let's go.
Episode number 2 with my boy here talking Tampa sports, and we got that coming to you later. But how we start every podcast, the brew to the orange. Let's get to the brew. Today we got In Bed by 9, and it's 8:30. We are not going to be in bed by 9, but we are going to enjoy this one. This is from Tampa staple Cigar City off of Spruce Street. Go visit the tap room.
Shout out to Cigar City, man. They're a staple in Tampa right now. They're killing it.
Let's get these beers popped.
Once again, your boy got the Buccaneers glass.
Yep.
I ain't going to waver from that.
I'm going with the old school can glass because it fits the whole beer in, even though his will too. This is what I started drinking with earlier. We don't dirty too much.
Well, you know, when you're a professional pourer, you can fit anything in any glass.
Ooh, spoke too soon. Hope y'all didn't see those dribbles. So for all you watching, you're going to see the beautiful pour. For all you listening, check out the YouTube live version right now. You can hop over. You can do both. YouTube, subscribe, Brew and Orange. Go to the Brew and Orange website, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, the whole 9 yards. You can check us out.
So you know how we do. We about to rate them.
So again, we got the In Bed by 9, Cigar City. Little sheeps, counting sheeps. We are not counting sheeps right now. What do we got here? This is a double dry hop India Pale Ale. Brewed with Southern Passion. Ooh, Hallertau Blanc hops. And I know Galaxy, Mosaic, the whole 9 yard is involved. This is a delicious beer. You already know. Look at that color. Oh, my goodness.
Man. This shit is beautiful.
So, again, cheers to my boy. Cheers to everybody watching, everyone who's going to watch. Cheers to all those listening. Not going to leave you out. What you think?
That shit is delicious.
If he likes it, trust me, we're all going to like it.
Well, and listen, like we said last time, I'm very stingy with my grades. And that's a 4.5. I'm giving that a 4.5.
You saw his face? Justin does not give out 4.5s.
That's a 4.5 right there.
Holy
that
God.
Is delicious. I will definitely be drinking that again.
So again, check out, it's on Spruce Street off of South Down Mabry. Check out Cigar City. They reinvented tap room. The menu is great. I've had the pork belly appetizer there. You cannot go wrong with anything on the menu. Customer service is great. Social distancing, they're following. The bartenders are wearing masks. Go ahead, grab some merch, grab some glassware, grab some cans to go. Hey, grab some In Bed by 9. And also, if you're in there, Fancy Papers, another hazy IPA, another personal favorite. If he had it, he would like it, I promise.
Also, we have another Cigar City we're drinking tonight. We did it last week, but we're gonna do it again tonight because we like it so much. The Benwood. Yep. So we'll be pouring that up next, just so you guys know.
I'm keeping the fridge stocked with everything local. Even if we repeat something, it don't matter because the whole objective is to let y'all know what we're drinking. Go check out these local breweries. Support local, drink local. Hey, wear local as well. Go to beerthrone.com, Brew and Orange at checkout to get your 15% off. I wore a shirt a couple of podcasts ago. It's prime. It's fire. Just about as fire as that logo.
Oof, it's fire. It's fire. And let me just tell you, man, there's a lot of local breweries that you can check out here in the Tampa Bay area.
Too many, maybe.
So listen, it don't matter which brewery you drink from. Just drink local, man. Just support your local breweries. They need it right now, especially in this time. We don't want them to have to shut down and go away because we love drinking their beer. So support them. Let them know you're still there. Drink that beer.
And, remember, that's what we're here for. Wear those masks when you go out. That's what keeps us rocking and rolling. Those people are putting food on the table for their families. We need these local breweries to keep going so we can keep doing this, and y'all can keep going out and enjoying yourselves.
Absolutely.
So he said this is a 4.5. That's fantastic. Take his word for it. Go and try this out. I had this. This is not an exaggeration. 2 years ago, October 31st, out of my driveway, passing candy out to little kids. This is so good, I had to get it again. I may update my rating to a 4.5 just because if he thinks it's a 4.5, I must have got something wrong the first time. So
that shit is good.
Without further ado, let's get into the orange part of the Brewing Orange. Let's talk some Gator recruiting. The big news that came out yesterday, Zachary Carter and Trayvon Grimes both tweeted that they will be playing this season. That is big for every reason that I mentioned in the last podcast. Wide receiver depth was a little thin and inexperienced, but talented behind Copeland, Grimes, and Tony. We now know Tony and Grimes were at practice, even though Tony has not officially come out.
But he never officially opted out either. So at the same time, him being at practice is a pretty good indicator that he's going to be wanting to play this year.
Let's assume Grimes and Tony are back. And also, huge news, even though the depth at the defensive line is very stacked, very talented, Zachary Carter will be back. Now, I did, re-report a bad report about him getting attacked by a dog and had a dog bite. That is not true. So if anybody saw me say that for the first time, I apologize for misleading you because I was misled. But Zachary Carter is healthy. He is in. He tweeted that he is playing this season. His main reasons for sitting out were what every college athlete and what all of us are concerned with during this time.
Yep.
It's COVID. It's the safety procedures. But he tweeted he is ready to play. It's a bag year for him. He's a first-round draft pick. And the Gators got plenty of those on the defensive line. But he is ready to go. And we can now confirm Zachary Carter, Trayvon Grimes, and Kadarius Toney will, in fact, all be on the field. We don't know yet about Copeland, but he was in a live feed with Trayvon Grimes at the indoor practice facility, playing, practicing, warming up. Was not at practice, but we do know that we can assume he's coming back to. Justin, what you got?
So going back to getting these wide receivers back, and going back to one of the other episodes that Cody did earlier this week with the depth that we had, even with them out, with them coming back, it makes it that much better because now not only do you have all those guys that he was talking about without the experience that have the potential, but now you have the guys with the experience too on the field practicing, and Grimes and Tony. So that only makes it better because those guys have the experience. Yes, Tony has been injury prone, but when Tony is on the field, he's explosive, like super explosive. And I think we were at the game last year when he got hurt. Were we not?
Yep.
And I can remember saying to him when he got hurt, like, oh my God, that sucks. Tony is probably the best wide receiver on the team. And while I still feel he's the most explosive wide receiver on the team, I don't feel like he's the best wide receiver on the team. Grimes is –
I can vibe with that.
Grimes is of Copeland, Grimes, and Tony. Grimes is the one guy that I wanted to have this season because Grimes is gonna ball out.
Dude's a gazelle, former 5-star wide receiver out of St. Thomas Aquinas. He is 6'5", 217. The dude is lightning fast. He has the length and the agility. He is a mismatch all over the field. So one thing that he mentioned too, whether it's having Tony and Grimes back is huge because this team lost a lot of ability to get out there and get developed during this time. They lost some camp. They lost about 3 or 4 weeks worth of practice. Having guys who have been through this system is absolutely vital for that talented, young, inexperienced depth that we just talked about at wide receiver.
Yep.
So forget the fact that Tony can break open a 98-yard touchdown at the drop of a hat and that Grimes can go up and get any touchdown that you want. It's experience. They know Mullen and Gonzalez's system. This is big for everybody. It only helps everybody get better around them. So, which takes me to Trask right now. Trask is going to be asked to do a lot more this year. Remember, last season he came in, he was the backup to Franks. This year, he comes in as an established starter.
Number 1 quarterback in the SEC. Just watch.
Boom. Once the Heisman Trophy winner Burrow went out, and the first round Tua Tagovailoa went out, Trask now takes over the top spot as returning QBR, returning pass per attempts. The guy's electric, and he has Grimes and Toney, probably Copeland. I'm not going to sit here and make that prediction, but the guy's got people to throw to. This is only going to make everybody better around. It's only going to make Trask more efficient, more effective. He was completing 69% of his passes last year. Now give him another year coming with the confidence of being the starter. It's only going to be better for everybody.
Right. And that's what I wanted to touch on is because it's going to be interesting to see how Trask does coming in as the starter this year. He's never really had that coming into a season. He's always been that guy that's going to be the backup, and he's going to be the backup. So it's going to be interesting to see how he deals with, the pressure of being the starting quarterback from day one, because even though Emory Jones is still there, I still think Trask is the guy. Emory Jones is the guy if you want to bring in to have the legs and stuff like that. But Trask is the guy, the starter, regardless of what Mullen states about the competition. We understand that. He said that last year as well, but we all knew who the starter was. Just like we know this year, Trask is going to be the starter. So I'm interested to see how Trask does coming in as the starter.
Perfect segue into the next spot. Emory Jones is going to be expected to, the same way Trask is coming in, learning a new kind of a new feeling as a incumbent starter. Jones now, and like he said, we know how Mullen prepares both of his quarterbacks as starters. That's why Trask was able to come in during the Kentucky game and absolutely dominate. So Emory Jones better be ready because Mullen is a schemer. He is known for creating the mismatch, and he will definitely call on Emory Jones to come in and not just use his legs, but
throw the ball.
Be used to throw that deep pass. We saw that against Charleston Southern. We saw that against multiple teams. Hey, freshman year, the guy was brought in, and he made some big plays against Georgia. Mullen knows what he's doing, and that is one thing you will never hear me complain about. Mullen knows how to prepare quarterbacks. He is Dak Prescott, Alex Smith, Nick Fitzgerald. We saw what he did in Denver in limited play.
You're forgetting one.
Tim Tebow, Cam Newton. Remember, he recruited all those guys. So I'm never going to question him. Emory Jones just better be ready. He's going to be expected now. This is a whole 2 years now under this playbook. Jones is going to be ready. There's no doubt about that. You can catch him on his Instagram, his Twitter. Him and Trask are out there with the receivers, the running backs. They are constantly working hard. Oh, and by the way, we have to raise game over our shoulders. It's 4-4 now.
It was 4-2 a minute ago. Blue Jays were up, and I just literally looked back there and was like, "Oh my God, it's 4-4."
Call to the bullpen.
Rays are on fire right now. We're gonna get to that later, though.
Yeah. So let's keep it up with Gator recruiting. Jeremiah Williams. I mentioned him in the first couple of episodes. He was very close to making a decision. He has since backed off from that. He wants to take it slow, but his recruiting got cut short. He wasn't able to take the visits that he wanted to take. So he dropped a top 4 schools of Auburn, Oklahoma, Georgia, and Florida. This is seen as a Florida-Auburn battle. Auburn was his dream school, his dream offer. He is from the state of Alabama. This should not be a surprise. But for anyone to think that Auburn has this wrapped up, they are mistaken. He wants to take these visits, and we know what happens when recruits get to come to Gainesville, come to the Swamp. Every school right now is benefiting from the fact that these student athletes are not going to get to come and see an LSU Florida in the Swamp, an Auburn Florida in the Swamp, and they all know that, okay? Make that very clear. Right now, it is a benefit and a disadvantage to Florida that the Swamp is not packed for big games because when that atmosphere is popping, we have been there.
Consider yourselves lucky.
There is no environment like it. Death Valley, we saw what Trask did to you in Death Valley. It was not that big of a deal.
There may be other schools that can compete, but there's nobody that's over the Swamp, okay? There's other schools that are up there with it, but there's nothing above the Swamp. It's the atmosphere like no other.
Only Gators got alive, and that's a real freaking deal. All right, so speaking of that, as we all know, last week was the first week of camp in pads, the whole 9 yards. And remember, I was like, oh, in pads, I've only saw them in their shells However, the way Florida does things, boy, you might as well be in full pads because they get you out there clanging and banging. So here's some news.
Click, clap.
Here's some news from this past week of the training camp here. Trey Dean, everyone's favorite person to pick on. He's going to be wearing number 0, but he has been dominating at safety. Oh, but Cody, the safety position is loaded. Sean Davis, Donovan Steiner, and now you're going to put in Trey Dean. Well, evidently the players went to Ron English, and Ron English got it approved with Dan Mullen. There's going to be a rotation happening. There's pros and cons to all of that, but what con can you have to having an athletic Trey Dean? Sean Davis, we saw what he can do even with Auburn. He made that one-handed pick. And Donovan Steiner, we've seen what he can do blitzing. He closed that Mississippi State game out for us 2 years ago. That is athletes from top to bottom at the safety position.
Let me ask you a question real quick about the Dean guy. Does he have any – and I don't know this at all, so I'm really asking as a Gator and Buck fan, I should know this. But does Jamel Dean and Trey Dean have any relation?
Negative.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure because – I didn't know, and I just wanted to make sure. I'm sure he knew. That's why I asked.
So, it's going to be something that is to watch. You want to keep the fresh body. You want to keep the hot hand in there. Sean Davis is a fan favorite. He's playing hard. He made a lot of plays last year, but the players asked for it. Ron English went to Mullen, and he obliged. That's just kind of what they're going to do right now. And to have a 4-star top 100 athlete out there like Trey Dean, he's been making plays. There have been 4 interceptions in camp. Trey Dean has had 2 of them. I don't think that is a slight on the quarterbacks. I think that is just Trey Dean has found his niche in the backfield, and he is making plays now because this is his 3rd year. He is familiar with the playbook.
You said 4 picks total, 2 by him?
Yeah.
So 4 picks total is not a lot, guys.
Yeah.
So you can't slight that to the quarterback. You have to give it up for the DBs that are making those picks. And 100%. With Dean having 2 of them, I mean, come on, man. You gotta understand that he's probably showing out as the top cornerback right now as we see it. So here
we go. We're gonna move on to the offensive line. This is only 2 to 3 days into camp. This is what the insiders, the sources have seen. So from left to right, we've got Forsyth, Heggie, Ethan White at center, and I'm gonna come up to that here in a second. Stuart Reese, the 4-star offensive line transfer from Mississippi State, and then Garage. A lot of people are wondering why Ethan White is at center. He is lean, his footwork is mean, and the guy he's ready to battle, and he's mean. He's got a mean streak to him. Hevesy likes him at center right now. He has been working with the ones at center. That is completely new, and hey. Just from the brief things that we have seen, he is really dominating. He is pushing the line, and that is what the center position has lacked the last couple of years. He's ready to dominate. And with the addition of Stuart Reese, 4-star offensive tackle from Mississippi State, transferred over, they are really feeling the need. And while there is talk of the offensive line being behind, we have to remember we have now missed out on virtually a whole month of Mullen and Hevesy and these guys having their hands developing these guys. But I trust this coaching staff to get this done because we've talked about this offensive line even last year. And at the end of the year, Ethan White was a problem for other people. So that just adds into the fact that, yes, we may not agree with the players they take, but the development that they bring to these players cannot be doubted.
And you love that edginess, that mean streak at offensive line. You need that in your offensive linemen because they're coming in contact every play. You need them to be mean and grimy and ready to hit somebody. So we love to hear that about the offensive line.
So remember, Ethan White came in at over 375 pounds. He was a project if there was ever one. Hevesy, Savage. He got with Savage for a whole year. Dropped down below 350. If you see these videos now, he is lean. He is ready to go. And that's why he's at center right now. He pushed Heggie right over to the side. Everybody watch out for Ethan White. He may have only been a 3-star recruit coming in. Top 900 in the nation. I will give props to Hevesy on his evaluation of that guy because, hey, to come into an SEC program and to take over the center position like that's a job well done on the coaching staff and a hard working on him.
Absolutely.
Let's get to one of the most exciting positions for the Gators. That's the defensive line. We all know Brenton Cox transferred from Georgia over to Florida, 5-star, number 1 jersey, ready to show out. Word on the streets is anybody who lines up in front of Brenton Cox is losing the battle on the practice field.
And we talked about this last time. He's wearing the number 1. So
for a reason.
You have to understand that he's absolutely showing out to the coaches right now.
He has done anybody in front of him, whoever puts their hand in the ground in front of Brenton Cox. And the thing is Brenton Cox is lining up at strong defensive end. I know a lot of people wanted to see him at Buck, but here's the beauty of it. Jeremiah Moon has come back from his injury, and he is thriving. He's in better shape than ever. Now, granted, I will keep prefacing this, 3 practices in, but he is doing better than ever, in shape like never before. Jeremiah Moon was a 4-star recruit out of Alabama, and he is playing the Buck position right now, so get used to it. And Brenton Cox is at the strong side defensive end. After that, we've got Daryl Slayton, who this coaching staff thinks with 1 strong season after how he finished last year, they just got to get his conditioning in line. That's what their main concern is. If they can get the big guy conditioned, he is poised to be a first-round pick on the defensive line. So don't be surprised if you see Brenton Cox, Zachary Carter that we just talked about, Daryl Slayton, Jeremiah Moon on that line along with Kyrie Campbell. That's going to be the big time. I don't know an offensive line on their schedule I feel bad for Ole Miss to start the season off.
They're getting beat.
Alabama, Georgia, LSU, you don't have the offensive line to handle those 5 guys right now, which brings us into the next thing. Let's flip the page. We got a big thing.
Talking about Ventrell Miller?
Ooh, at linebacker. So, linebacker right now, Ventrell Miller is shoring up a starting spot right now. James Houston is moving in right next to him. My favorite guy right now, and I liked him since we got him from Auburn, Alabama. Yes, he played high school right in Auburn, Alabama, and Florida poached him right from Tiger Country. Is Mohamed Diabate. That guy, 4-star recruit, should have been higher. Probably a lot of colleges are probably sitting back wishing they would have landed him. The guy can play everywhere. In coverage, run protection. He's at Buck. He's at strong side. This is Grantham's bread and butter right here. He is going to have Mohamed Diabate disrupting everything. And what was our big thing? Voshon Joseph, we love you. You were fast. You were nasty. What was Voshon's biggest hang-up? He could not cover the pass across the middle. Mohamed Diabate is like a safety, but bigger right in the middle. He's going to make some people wish they didn't go across. It doesn't matter. So this linebacking core, along with Tyrone Hopper, the staff wants Tyrone Hopper. Remember, that was a top 100 player of the nation. They want Tyrone Hopper to gain a little bit more weight, which let Savage get his hands on him. And for you who are watching or you don't know, if you don't follow, Savage needs to be handed a blank check. Let him fill it out how he wants, because he turns these boys into men the second they step on the freaking field. So let Tyrone Hopper get a couple of more reps, get a little bit more time under Savage tutelage, and this guy's going to be a grown man. Wait till Derek Wingo steps in. Gator fans, I know we've been harping on the recruiting for the linebackers, but there are some bright, bright days ahead for the Gator linebacking core. Ventrell Miller, Derek Wingo, Tyrone Hopper, James Houston, and Mohamed Diabate. These guys are going to be a problem for everybody, I promise. This just keeps adding on to what we've been talking about with the offense, getting Grimes and Tony back, hopefully fingers crossed, getting Copeland back. This team on paper is built to withstand this 10-win team. And I just want to, just an aside right now, it is an absolute robbery that the Gators are projected to only win 7 games this year. They got Florida losing to Texas A&M, Georgia, and LSU. I'll give you one of those between Georgia and LSU. Florida ain't losing to Texas A&M.
Listen, man.
Ooh, I'm fired up because of that.
Every year, they try to say,
us.
We're going to lose to this team. And every year we consistently, and the only team that we consistently lose to so far recently is Georgia, and that sucks.
Hey.
And I'm telling you, we're going to turn that around this year. But at the same time,
Rollins not letting it happen again.
But at the same time, that's the only team we consistently lose to. We lost to LSU last year, but it was a hard-fought game in LSU. But the year before that, we beat them. So it's not like we lose to them every year.
Yeah.
They just listen. The LSU's, the Georgias, the Alabamas. If we play them, they're gonna say we're gonna lose to them every time. Don't listen to that.
Don't listen to the Herb Streets. Don't listen to the Pro Football Focus and their weird algorithms every single time coming out here, which I'm going to get to in a second. I'm fed up with Pro Football Focus, and you're going to hear why in a second.
Do you listen to the guys who do the draft every year?
Listen to us before you listen to the –
Golly. Do you listen to – what's the guy's name who does the draft? Mel Kiper. Don't listen to these guys who have never played a down of football in their life, who have never coached or anything. Don't listen to these guys, man. They sit up in the studio and they just tell you what they think. Don't listen to them.
All right, so we got that venting out of the way. We needed it. Cheers again, brother, man.
Hell yeah.
Cheers again. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope everyone is ready. Sharknado thing's about to happen out there. Just go out there and just get prepared. Just be ready, just in case.
You don't know what can happen, man. You don't know. You don't want to be that person late going to the store when there's no water, when there's no toilet paper. You don't want to be that person.
And it's 2020. Who knows what's going to happen right now?
They were buying toilet paper up for the pandemic, and nobody needed toilet paper for that. So just understand that
get yourself something.
They're going to buy it up, so go get it now.
All right, so the next position that we're going to talk about is the running back position, which we got a blessing in disguise, another beauty gem from Dan Mullen, poaching from the transfer portal, Lorenzo Lingard, another 5-star recruit. If we're not counting, that's 3 5-star recruits that Florida has pulled from the transfer portal. Justin Shorter, Brenton Cox, and now Lorenzo Lingard. So, word has it, man, C.J. Henderson was the fastest guy on the team last year. This year, these players think it's Lorenzo Lingard. They can't keep up. So, him and Dameon Pierce, that's thunder and lightning all day long. You better be ready for this. And Dan Mullen will rotate the same way they're doing with safety. They're going to do it with running back. So, don't be surprised to see thunder and lightning, Lorenzo Lingard, that L for lightning, and Dameon Pierce. You saw him bumbling and stumbling, to mention the great Chris Berman. He's a bowling ball, and Lingard is fast. This is going to be a great backfield. It's only going to open up more weapons for Trask. It's only going to cause more mismatches for the defense, and this is a great thing. And like I said, we haven't even talked about Kyle Pitts yet. He's out there grinding. He's a first-round pick. He could be at wide receiver. He can block. He can be at tight end. This team on paper is built to withstand this 10-game SEC season. So let's go. Let's just keep moving right along right now. We got so we talked about, I griped about Pro Football Focus. Here we go.
Okay.
They said the top 3 returners for Florida were in this order: Kyer Elam, Kyle Trask, and Tony.
I agree. You don't agree?
I don't.
Okay.
I simply don't.
So tell me why you don't agree.
Here we go. Kyer Elam, we can make that argument all day long.
Absolutely.
I think right now,
obvious.
Kyle Trask, for the sake of argument, let's go ahead and swap Kyle Trask and Kyer Elam. Fine. We'll make Kyer Elam is a star in the making. That's fine. But he's not even our most experienced cornerback right now. That's cool. My gripe is Tony, because right now, if I'm being honest with you right now, and you told me Grimes, Copeland, and Tony were the 3 opting out, you can only have 2. I'm taking Grimes and Copeland every single day of the week.
And I disagree. I'm taking Grimes and Tony.
Okay.
And so that's what we disagree. We're not always going to agree. So, and I'm going to let him explain why he said that, and then after he's done, I'm going to explain why I say Tony is my guy.
Simply because in limited action, Tony has just simply, like I said, he kept us in the Miami game, but he has been injury prone. And like Mullen said, when he catches the ball, it's not always north and south. It's a lot of east and west. Mm-hmm. And I digress a little bit. Tony is great for experience with these younger wide receivers, but I like Copeland's upside more than Tony, and that's it. Because Copeland already showed last year that he can be a true wide receiver. He can block, and he's not injury prone as of yet. So my argument is I like Copeland's upside more than Tony. Hi, baby Grace, you sweet little angel.
As we're looking at the comments, my wife, my future wife, my fiance just told me that my baby Grace says hi. So I want to say hi to my baby Grace, hi to my future fiance Mercedes, to everybody watching, hi to you guys, player for Florida returning. And that reason is because, as Cody said, we like Copeland as a wide receiver and his skills and talent over Tony. That's I agree with that as well. But Tony as a playmaker, while he's not injured, and this isn't going off of his injury, this is saying if Tony is healthy all year, he's important. I would say at least 5 to 6 huge plays a year that will keep you in games or win you games. And that's why I like Tony as one of the top returning players, because even though he's injury prone, if he can stay healthy, he is a game changer.
Hard to argue that.
That's my argument.
Yep. No, we agree to disagree, but yet I'm pretty sure here we can both agree that we both made some solid points.
Yeah.
Hey, the problem is this is a good problem to have.
Yes.
You've got a lot of playmakers who can make up Florida's return.
When you're arguing about 3 receivers, Grimes, Tony, and Copeland, and then you got all the guys you have behind them, it's a good problem to have. Absolutely.
All right, so, man, we're freaking cruising right along. 31 minutes in. Here we go. So
we haven't even gotten to Tampa sports yet.
Just it's coming.
Wait.
No, it's coming. So we talked about that. So anyone heard the last name Burton? All my Gator fans out there know Trey Burton. So guess what? He's got a cousin out there. He's the number 1 wide receiver in the nation, number 12 overall prospect in the entire country.
What's his size?
He is 6'3". Wide receiver.
Oh, so he's bigger than his cousin.
He's big.
He's bigger than his cousin.
5-star wide receiver prospect. Went ahead and talked to some of the Gator insiders about having this Florida offer, what it means to him to keep that family legacy going on. That is going to be the recruit to watch coming in. That's how you keep the legacy. You keep the Elams. We know that.
You keep the Burtons.
You want to keep the Burtons.
And hopefully one day you keep the Tebows.
One day, Tebow. No.
Shout out to Tim Tebow. I'm just telling you, bro, when you have a kid, make sure he's a Gator.
I hope that goes without saying, but you never know.
You would like to say that, but Emmitt Smith's son.
Hey, Emmitt Smith's son, we had to battle Georgia for
Unfortunately, man. But, shout out to his son. Hey, do your thing, kid. Hey, we ain't mad at you.
Number 1 receiver, 12th in the nation, Caleb Burton. That's going to be a big-time target to watch for this 2022 class. It's going to be a battle. He's not a Florida kid. He's up in the Northeast, but legacy plays out a lot of times. So let's hope that we can keep him in the state, because that's what you want. That keeps that pipeline coming. The Lakelands, the Armwoods, the Burtons, the Elams, that keeps it going. And this guy's a real deal. He's got the offers from all the big boys, the Ohio States, the Clemsons, the Alabamas, the Georgias, the LSUs, the Ohio State. It's going to be a big boy battle. It's early, but, hey, Mullen recruited Burton. You best believe his older cousin's in his ear right now, letting it be known. Go there, get developed. Hey, Burton won a Super Bowl. Reel him in.
Let's go.
Sir. So we got a little bit of beer left here.
Look, this is me.
We'll give you an update.
So let me just give you an update on the Rays game, because it is 4-4 right now, but it's the top of the 7th and in the bottom of the 6th. The Rays had an opportunity with the bases loaded with 2 outs to go ahead, and we couldn't. With 1 out, they had a man on 1st and 3rd, and Hunter Renfroe struck out. Hunter Renfroe, we'll get to him later, but he is not what he was supposed to be when he came here.
Mercedes, thank you for the shout out on Instagram. We appreciate that.
Yes,
keep pushing
absolutely.
Blue and Orange, please.
And
push the new logo. Push it.
And as far as the Rays go right now, we have a man on 1st and 2nd with no outs in the top of the 7th. The Rays are pitching right now, so we struggle versus the Blue Jays, and we're gonna get to that in a second. But I just wanted to give you an update on the game. So
AKA a segue for us to go ahead.
Let's do this. While he's finishing drinking that beer, we're gonna jump right into Tampa Sports Roundup, because
we got the notes. Get into it.
That's what we do after the Gators talk.
We do the brew, the orange, and Tampa Sports Roundup.
Now we're doing Tampa.
Here we go.
So to get right in, let's start with the Bolts, because the Lightning, if there was ever a statement series, this was it. Okay? So you win the first game in a 5 overtime fashion. Probably, what did they say? The third or fourth longest game in NHL history.
Longest in Bolts history.
And you win that game, and then you come out the next game and you lose. understandably, you're a little tired. I'm not mad about that. And then you come out in the next 3 games, you take all 3 of them, and you take that series 4-1. That is redemption from last year.
422 days. Cooper was keeping count since they lost to the Blue Jackets.
We got swept last year. We came in this year and said, "This is not last year, you motherfuckers."
And guess what? Braden Point. He ended
ended
it in the first overtime, in the first game, 5 OTs, and he ended it in game 5.
But game 5, he did it with the okie doke, top shelf.
Oh, my gosh.
Game 1, like we talked about before, game 1, he kind of just threw the shot, and it went in. Game 5, he hit him with the okie doke, and he knew exactly what he was doing and put him top shelf and ended that series.
Corpusal had no chance.
Now, while I say the goalie for Columbus, what's his name?
Corpusal,
he is outstanding. He played an amazing series.
Sometimes he was the best goalie on the ice, win or lose.
But at the same time, the Lightning came in looking to make a statement with this series.
Fantastic.
Okay? And we did exactly that. The only, I will say, I do still have a problem with Kucherov because every game he still seems to come up missing. And he's our best player right now, especially with Stamkos out. Kucherov is the guy, and he still comes up missing.
We need you.
We need you.
Not just
Braden Point can't do it all. Vasilevsky can't do it all.
Nope.
And Hedman can't do it all. Stamkos is out right now. There's no foreseeable future where he's coming back. He's definitely. I don't think he's coming back next series.
We're not seeing.
I don't see him. He's coming back next series.
Maybe not the whole playoff. I don't.
And that's unfortunate to say, but if so, the Lightning is the one team who can withstand an injury like that and still win it all because of the talent that we have on this team.
Can we talk about the Kucherov, Gaudreau, and Patrick Maroon?
Yeah, absolutely. But Kucherov has to step up. You have to be the guy, Kucherov. If you want us to say,
and I hate that
you have to be the guy.
I hate that we have to say this because he is now the Lightning franchise owner of the most playoff points. Which is wild that we have to even talk about. We need you, Kucherov, when you now have 69 points in the playoffs to pass St. Louis on the rankings. So it's an odd dynamic right now, but that's just where we stand. Yeah, we're not the only ones who feel that way.
And you know what? And the way things are going right now with the Flyers and the Canadians, they're playing game 6 tonight. Okay, 3-2, and the Flyers are up. But the more games they play, we'll take it. We're going to take our rest, and we're going to take them getting hit and all that. We'll take it. So, actually, go game 7. Canadians.
Who do you want to see? Flyers or Canadians? Just
I don't care.
Okay.
It don't matter to me because anybody that we play is going to have to deal with us. I don't care if it's the Capitals who already lost.
So
we're not going to play the Capitals.
Right, isn't that? So I do think that
wild.
Getting over the hump.
The Islanders?
Getting over the hump of the Blue Jackets, there's that feeling that there's not much in our way right now.
Could be this year.
It could be.
I will say that the Bruins are a team to look out for because obviously they're going to be there. They're not going to go away. Obviously, we don't have to deal with Capitals this year and the Penguins this year. We don't have to deal with either of them.
No Sidney Crosby.
We don't have to deal with either of them. So all we have to worry about is the team we play next round, whether it's the Flyers or Canadians, and then the Bruins or whoever they play. I see us winning the ship this year, okay? And I know that me being a Lightning fan, that could be seen as, hometown bias, but I'm serious. This is the Lightning's year.
Hometown USA.
This is the Lightning's year.
It is.
With the way it's set up, we beat the team that swept us last year, so we got that monkey off our back.
I want to hear no asterisk because everyone is playing.
Ain't no asterisk.
The same
you can call it asterisk if you want to, but in the record book, there ain't gonna be no asterisk. Okay, so we beat the team. We got the monkey off our backs that we got swept from last year, and the two teams that I was most worried about, the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Washington Capitals, are no longer in it.
Ovechkin's at home eating cereal from an actual cereal bowl, not the Stanley
Sidney Crosby's at home crying tears right now. Okay? Sid the kid. Go cry your tears. It doesn't matter.
Over it.
The only team that I feel like has a shot versus us, and we might see them in the finals of the Eastern Conference, is the Boston Bruins. And we know the history with the Boston Bruins, okay? It gets chippy. It gets nasty. Motherfuckers start licking each other.
That's real life. Fucking Ratatouille over there.
Listen.
It's okay.
Even though the Bruins are the team that we're looking for, I'm not worried about them. Okay, so this is the Lightning year. We're not gonna spend a whole lot of time on this because look, man, it was a beautiful series, but we still got a long way to go. Okay,
so we talked about last Friday. So I do want to give Cooper a little bit of credit, even though that Justin and I before this podcast, we went back and forth on, and I actually agree with him when it came down to it. I heard his point of view about challenging the calls. It was just tricky now when it becomes if you lose a challenge, you get that 2-minute penalty.
Let's go back. Let's go back to game. What was it? 3?
2 or 3. Yeah.
It was game 3, I think it was, and the Lightning were up 2-0. Okay, and the Columbus scored a goal, but it was obvious that there was goalie interference. Like obvious, everybody was hitting me up saying, "Yo, that goal's coming back. That was goalie interference." But Cooper didn't challenge, and the reason I got from everybody who was talking about it was because he was scared to lose the challenge and get a penalty for it.
It would have been 4-on-3, 2 more extra minutes.
But at the same time, without challenging it on an obvious goalie interference, you made it 2-1 instead of 2-0. Okay, so while it didn't come back to bite us that game, I still think in a further situation going forward,
possible.
if he's conservative like that, it could come back to bite us because
very easily.
It was very obvious that it was goalie interference. Okay, so I think 99.9 we would have won that challenge and got that goal back. But like I said, he didn't challenge it, and we didn't. You know what I'm saying? We didn't lose. It didn't affect us. We won 2-1. Cool.
Because now
then going forward, what game was it? Was it game
this
4
last
or 5?
one.
Game 5?
This last
okay.
one,
There was a goal by Columbus that was
which was
iffy.
obviously not.
It was obviously not goalie interference, but we were down 4-2 at this point, and you had to challenge it.
Yep.
So he challenged it, and I understand where he was doing.
2-minute
but my fear is that Cooper is too conservative when it comes to things like that, and he won't take that chance when we need him to, but he will when we have to, and when it's the obvious call. I need him to take those chances when it's a make or break. Like one of those times when we're up 2-0, okay? If you need to challenge something and it's obvious like that, challenge
Throw
it.
the flag.
Throw it. Throw the red flag. It ain't football, but screw it. You have to challenge that because if we lose, worst case scenario is 2-1 and we take a penalty.
Penalty kill. We're kind of good at that now.
We're pretty good at that right now. If you don't challenge it, it's 2-1 still, and you don't have the penalty. Okay, I get it. So you don't want the penalty. But at the same time, it was obvious, Coop. It was obvious.
So here's why I give him credit. He did make some adjustments, down 4-2 going into the third period. He switched up that third and fourth line. Hey, pulled empty net, and we ended up tying it. Boy, that neuter was extra exciting. Oh my gosh!
I'm never gonna go at Coop about his line changes because Coop is a master.
So
he always finds the right one.
So while we can definitely go back and forth about challenge this or don't challenge this, hey, that line change helped. He's not a rah-rah guy. He is not Tortorella. We know that. We have now seen how Tortorella responds to Columbus Blue Jackets interviews. We have seen how Cooper does. Cooper's not your rah-rah.
No.
He's not in your face.
Nope.
But if he pulls this off this year, all those who are saying to fire him hot seat, hey, and I was one of those maybe even about a week or so ago, and Justin can attest to this.
Yeah.
You'll get credit where credit is due because, like we said, he makes the adjustments. The players have got to play, and they did that the other night.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fantastic.
But the problem is when we talk about whether Cooper's on the hot seat or not, at some point you have to
got to win the big game.
You have to win the big games. You have to say to the coach, like, look,
you got to win it.
Like, you either have to win it or you have to make some changes with your personnel. And he isn't making changes with personnel, so he thinks he has a team to do it. So at the end of the day, if we're still losing, it's on you.
So we talk. If you're a coach and you're in the locker room and you're giving that speech, sure, your speech should resonate with your team and it should result in higher level of play. However, if your team is capable of that higher level of play and does not produce, then what? Does the players not trust the coaches? Are they not buying? We hear about buy-in. So there's pros and cons to this, you know. I can advocate for Cooper all you want, but you and I can switch my feelings right around.
And listen, I hate to say this, but if there's any player that I feel like it's like the guy who's like against the coach, and
I know this is
I'm telling you, bro, Cooch, it's him.
You're the best.
If we stop winning, the first person that needs to go is him. And I don't care what nobody says. You can come at me on here. You can come at me on my DMs on JB_ the Tampa Sports Guy at Instagram. You can come at me if you want. But what I'm saying is if we continue to fall short, it's Cooch. It's not Coop. It's Cooch.
Touche. You know what? We'll finish up with just a couple of cool little stats here. Speaking of Cooch, I'm going to jump a bullet point. Kucherov does lead in assists right now, but Braden Point is leading the team in points and goals. Braden Point, man,
star.
He's doing the thing, man.
He's a goddamn superstar.
Oh, the dude is amazing right now.
I love Braden Point. Hey, what do they call him? Blackjack Braden Point, because he's number 21, baby. Blackjack.
Staying right there all day.
Top shelf to win.
Here we go. So we're gonna move on to the Rays.
Oh.
So just to give you an update, bottom of the stairs, no out, 3-2, no one on base. Rays are up to bat. It's 4-4.
Did Meadows just go? No, it's an out.
Okay,
it's okay.
So we got the Rays going on, man. You know we love Tampa sports. Look at the jersey. Look at this fire right now. Look at this logo. Please
listen.
If you want one of these logos, please let me know.
And if you're looking for a hot team in Tampa right now, there's no other place to look than the Tampa Bay Rays. Because in the last 10 games, they're 9-1. And you want to know what?
Read it.
Okay, so this past series, before today's game, we played the Yankees, swept in New York, okay? So, other than...
That's right, you're reading that right.
Yeah, so, yeah, I'm reading it. It's okay. So, the first team since the 70s, Oakland, to sweep the Red Sox and the Yankees in the same road trip.
You heard that right.
Since the Red Sox and the Yankees in the same road trip, and neither of them teams won a damn game.
Swept them. Swept City.
Bring out the Miss Doubtfire broom.
I ain't got a broom. I should have brought one.
Bring it out. Because guess what, Yankees? Garrett Cole got lit the fuck up. He gave up 2 home runs. Okay? Garrett Cole is not invincible. You can bring him whenever you want it.
Look at that Benwood.
Okay? Benwood, okay. So pause real quick. So,
I interrupted. I'm sorry, but we gotta crack this other beer.
Benwood. I was going in, but let's stop for a beer.
We did this last week.
Benwood.
Another Cigar City.
It's amazing.
It's obviously why we're bringing this in. We did in bed by 9. It's now 9:15, so you won't tell us what to do.
Ever.
And it was a delicious beer, and this one is just as good. So please, again, support your local craft beers, your local craft breweries. I don't care if you buy it from ABC or if you buy it from the brewery itself. Go out and get your craft beers. Get your craft breweries. Eat food there because a lot of these breweries
are only open because they have food.
They have gone through a lot to get the new restaurant deals to open back up because our crazy government won't let you just drink beer for fun. They got to serve peanut butter and jellies and grilled cheese. There's one brewery doing that. Green Bench is now doing that.
Yeah. They got like the grilled cheese food trucks outside just to have food.
Please, don't drink the beer. Crazy. The Benwood.
Listen, and this is my opinion. COVID doesn't discriminate on whether you have food or not.
Yeah.
Just going to be honest with you.
Like IPAs or APAs.
They don't care whether or not you're just drinking beer or drinking beer with food. It's not like the COVID's going to get you because you're not eating. Okay.
Oh, hey, you got a beer with no grilled cheese? I'll pass you up. No. Cheers. Happy Friday, everybody. Hey, look. So there's a lot of people out there like me. We're starting classes on Monday. We're going back on campus at USF, at UF, at FSU, and all the state universities. Wear your mask. Protect your loved ones. Support your local breweries, businesses. And just cheers to everybody out there, man. Cheers. Happy Friday.
So going back to what we were talking about, you know one guy who you can't even fucking keep up with right now. Because no matter what you do, if the game's going on, don't write down the stats because he's going to add to them.
I made that mistake.
Okay? Brandon Lau is the hottest, and I haven't done my research. I don't care. He's the hottest
I did it for him. It's all there.
Hitter in the game.
He's going to read it off
right now, okay? So he has a 10-game hitting streak, right? He is batting .421 in that streak with 4 doubles, 6 home runs, and 14 RBIs.
That's a real deal.
Okay?
10 games, 14 RBIs. Games.
And that's not even including all the other stuff he's done, because if I looked up Brandon Rowell's stats right now, it would be amazing.
He started the game off with a home run. I got mad because he hit a home run. I had just wrote these stats down. I have to adjust it.
And he's batting way over 300. And listen, if you talk about the guys like Trout, the Fernando Tatis Juniors, all them guys who are top in the game, he is right behind
MVP right now for the team.
Yes, for the 100%. Team, maybe for the major leagues. Because 100%. He's right behind those guys in all their stats that they have. And just because the Rays don't get talked about doesn't mean that we shouldn't have an MVP candidate, because the Rays are a small market team. We understand that, okay? But we've also had Cy Young winners before, okay? So we understand that we could still get recognition.
We could have had 2 last year. Snell and Glasnow. Glasnow got hurt.
So we understand that we could still get recognition for our players, even though we're a small market team. Brandon Lau should be getting all the recognition right now. He should be all over the place because he is just as good as the Trouts and the Fernando Tatis.
So ESPN, right, talk about Brandon Lau. The guy's a real deal right now, okay? Move on. So let's talk about, we had so I put this in here just as a casual fan. Him and I, we may do this podcast. We love Tampa sports. We hope y'all do too.
Yes.
But there's moments in series and games that seem minuscule at the time, but you look back and you're like,
they're huge.
That could have changed the entire game, the series. So Meadows made that catch in left field, running towards the line.
Right.
Tampa Bay had won the series, but there were 2 men on base early in the game. We all know if Tampa wins that game and sweeps them, it's a big deal for the Rays. But if Meadows doesn't make that catch, a run scores. 2 run scores. We know how that game ended.
And you don't know how it goes after that.
Deal.
And you don't know how it goes after that. If Meadows doesn't make that catch, you don't know how the rest of that inning goes. You don't know how any of that goes. So at the same time, when you're saying, yeah, it was an okay catch, no, it was a great catch.
He made it look easy on TV, but for Joe Schmo and Cody and Jay, that is a no-joke
we played baseball growing
up. That's
hard.
We know. That's tough. Okay. Sliding, basket catch, towards the line, no backup, men on base.
If you miss that, and it's in fair territory,
2-run score.
At least a triple.
And the guy who hit it is on third. You're right, for sure. What about Castillo? Bases loaded. He got out of the jam a little bit ago. He had bases loaded, no outs, in New York in game 2 of a game 3 series. He got us out.
Yeah, other than Nick Anderson, Castillo is our most consistent reliever.
And then we missed him so much last year and still won 90 games.
Listen. Castillo, with the stuff that he has, man, with that sinker and with that 100-mile-an-hour fastball, man, he is a stud. With Nick Anderson back there, if we can get Jose Alvarado to get right again, we have a 7th, 8th, and 9th that would rival with the Yankees. I call them the Yankees because fuck the Yankees. That could rival with the Yankees bullpen, okay? Because they got Chapman, they got Britton, and they got some other guy who I don't even know his name right now, but he's pretty good.
So let's take the next couple bullet points. You take one, I'll take one. Go ahead. Some little stats we're going to put out there for you to show the Rays rolling right now. Go ahead.
So this is the first 3-game sweep of the Yankees since 2014 for the Rays, okay?
They're 3rd in the majors in runs scored, and that was when I typed this up. I can't keep track, okay? But just to let you know how this Rays team is doing. 3rd in the majors in runs scored. Go ahead.
So a little more than 30 games left in the season, okay? Yeah. And the Yankees series and that road trip will do wonders for confidence.
It will.
Because they could still get into a credible 40-win season in this shortened season. Because as of right now, we only have 9 losses.
Yep.
And majority of those losses, if
left.
You haven't noticed, the majority of those losses came to the Blue Jays and to the Orioles. Okay? Those are 2 teams that we should beat. So if those are the majority of our losses right now, we're doing
pretty confident.
Damn good.
Feeling pretty confident.
We're doing damn good.
Because we're going to get better.
Yes.
Because we're a more experienced team. than the Blue Jays.
Yeah, we're going to start winning these games. Absolutely.
I'm tired of hearing about the Biggios and the Guerreros. Yeah, they're good. They're going to be good. Hey, I'm not going to doubt
Not this year, though.
Not that it's the Rays year. It's the Rays year. What about? Also, let's get into a little. I'm sorry I finished on a somber note on the Rays part, but we got Chirinos. He is out with an elbow injury, heading to Tommy John's. Brendan McKay, he's out for the season with shoulder surgery. And Oliver Drake and Alvarado have both now been listed on the 10-day injured list, no longer disabled list. We'll be PC about it. They are on the injured list now.
So let me tell you, the Rays are doing this without Oliver Drake, who is a very good relief pitcher.
Yeah.
Jose Alvarado, who is honestly, he's the closer when he's there.
You count on Chirinos.
And Chirinos, who is a very good starter. And then you're talking about Brendan McKay, who's a young arm who could be a starter or a relief pitcher who hasn't been there all year.
I didn't even list Honeywell, and Honeywell is on this injured list too, and he's just now going to throw a live batting practice tomorrow. He hasn't made it up yet, but we were hoping we would see him this year.
Maybe, but with the shortened season, I don't think you're going to see Honeywell this year. I think it's smarter to just leave him out and let him progress to next year.
So, I know this is your favorite part. We're going to talk some Buccaneers football right
Buccaneers football. Because, listen, guys, September 13th, right?
Yes.
We're about 3 weeks out from the first Bucs game. And I am super excited. I'm super excited about everything going on with the Bucs right now.
It's fun to be a Tampa Bay sports fan right now.
Because it's so fun because everything going on right now with the Lightning.
COVID can't stop us right now.
No, actually, COVID might have made it even bigger because of the shortened season with the Lightning. It makes it even bigger and with the race season, it makes every game more important. You know.
Yeah.
So let's just start off with. Bucs starting in training camp. Scotty Miller today. I was watching some videos from practice, and Scotty Miller made a beastie one-handed grab today. He is the obvious upstart person to look out for this year. Scotty Miller is
most improved offensive player.
Most improved. He's your guy that you want to look for this year. If you ask me, he's going to be your Tom Brady's Wes Welker, his Danny Amendola.
Slot receiver.
He's going to be that guy. Yes, he's going to be that guy. And the way he is in training camp and in practice.
They said he goes hard every single snap.
Yeah.
Runs his fastest 4.40. The dude is lightning.
I watched a thing on Instagram because I'm a fan of the Buccaneers on Instagram, and they have this camera where they all walk up to after practice and talk shit and stuff. And the question that they had on the camera was, who's the fastest player on the team? And there was a couple players saying, "Oh, me." But when you ask the majority of the players, they all patted Scotty Miller and was like, "This guy." Okay.
I not fast.
Yeah, he's not. But this is like Scotty Miller. They were like, "This guy." And Scotty Miller himself was like,
"That's me.
Me. Come check it." Okay? Scotty Miller is my player to watch this year. I don't know if I told you that.
Good.
But Scotty Miller is my player to watch this year.
Scotty Miller, you hear that? If you're watching, you live a couple houses down.
Come holler at us. Get on the show.
Everyone, if you're watching right now, this is not an exaggeration. This is not I'm not gassing up anybody. This is real humble. JB, the Tampa Bay sports guy, and Brew and Orange. You're my neighbor, man. I'm sorry my dog barked at you. Come hang.
Eleanor, what are you doing?
Eleanor ruined it. It's fine. First time meetings, we all go through it.
It's okay.
But Scotty Miller's a beast. The guy is going to just kind of he's going to exude everything that we loved about the slot receivers at the Patriots that Brady brought to the table.
Absolutely.
He's going to do that.
Yes, absolutely.
He has all the tools, if not more.
Speed. All of that catching ability. If you watch him today in practice, he made a one-handed. He got the hands. Do it. I'm telling you, Scotty Miller, look out for him, okay? And I don't want to make this the last thing we do, so I'm going to say it now. I want to talk about the John Franklin, TJ Logan injury.
It's in there.
Because I don't want to make it the last thing we do. I don't want to end on that. So I want to talk about it now before we get to the ending. John Franklin got carted off the field today. Unfortunate. He was one of our wide receiver depths on the team. Unfortunately, he got carted off the field today. Listening to Bruce Arians' interview, it does not look good. We're expecting John Franklin to probably miss the rest of the year.
And TJ Logan.
It was a non-contact knee leg injury.
And TJ Logan again get brought down by Quentin Bell. Quentin Bell is trying to make the team.
And that happens. We're not blaming Quentin Bell. We're not blaming Quentin Bell.
You were told, don't touch him. It's all for practice. Jeez Louise. There's other ways to make the team.
Yeah. We understand, though. So,
going hard.
Also, a brighter note, okay? A guy that everybody was, is iffy on because he's been on the team the last couple of years and he hadn't really done much. Rojo. Okay? Mm-hmm. So, as of right now, everything I've seen from camp, Ronald Jones Jr. is
hitting holes and going.
Balling, okay?
Hitting holes and going.
I've seen the last at least 3 or 4 days in a row.
Got the hands?
Bro.
He's blocking?
He is hitting holes. He's breaking plays. Ronald Jones Jr. looks like the real deal this year. He looks like the reason we drafted him.
They said they had 2 plays during the practice the other day, 7-on-7. First play, up the middle, a little dive play, 15 yards. Rojo hit the hole.
Oh, yeah.
No, next play action to freaking O.J. Howard across the middle, 25 yards. And that is something you want to see.
Actually, Brady and Howard are starting to form this, connection where listen, you got Gronk on one side, and you got O.J. Howard on the other, and you got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin on the outside of that, and then you got Scotty Miller on the inside of that.
Who's stopping that?
Bro.
Can I say one thing? You've heard of Rob Parker, right? Yeah. Good night, Rob Parker. Who keeps putting you on the radio?
Who knows?
You are such a Tom Brady hater. You are gassing up Cam Newton has not been anything since 2014.
And listen, I don't got anything against Cam Newton.
But at the
same time, that man ain't been healthy in 3 years. But you want to gas him up because he's on the Patriots when really the reason
he's got less of a team than Tom Brady had last year.
The reason the Patriots were so good is yes, Belichick, but they had Tom Brady. You're not understanding the GOAT level of Tom Brady right now.
I want to be outraged. I'm going to let Justin do it for me. Because that is horrible, Rob Parker. You're supposed to be a professional.
Rob Parker.
Do not compare Cam Newton and the Patriots to Tom Brady and the Bucks because Tom Brady has got 2 Pro Bowl wide receivers, Scotty Miller, Rojo, Cameron Brate, O.J. Howard. The list goes on.
Listen, if I looked up for you what Tom Brady had as his weapons last year compared to what he has this year, you would be astounded at the level of upgrade that he made by coming to the Buccaneers. He literally had 1 wide receiver last year.
He is in paradise right now. That's not counting his 35,000 square foot home. He is in paradise with playmakers.
He had 1 wide receiver last year, and he was a white guy built like me. All right?
Can't argue it.
This year, he has Mike Evans, who is a top 5 receiver in the league.
Easy.
He has Chris Godwin, who is a top 10 receiver in the league.
Easy.
And he has Gronkowski, who, as far as we know,
we've seen it.
We've seen it before. He didn't play last year, but we know Gronkowski has it. Okay? We have O.J. Howard, who when he plays good, he showed what he can do. Okay? So we're not talking about what was the one wide. I can't even remember his name. It's not Amendola and it's not Wes Welker. Edelman. He had 1 wide receiver last year in Edelman. 1. Who were the other guys? I challenge you to name one of the other guys.
Google, you can't.
Okay? You can't name them.
So I got a couple questions here. So I will point out, Gronk is, and this surprised me. I had to look this up because when I heard it on 620, I thought they were freaking pulling my leg.
They might be.
Gronk has not played a full season, a full 16 games since 2011.
That's fact. That's fact.
But that's fine.
And that's okay.
He took a year off. He recuperated. He's ready to go.
You know why he took a year off? Because Tom Brady last year was like, yo, Gronk. He's like, go wrestle. He was like,
in Tampa, man.
He's like, I'm going to go in Tampa next year. He's like, come join me. We going to be good. So, he's like, Gronk, rest up, baby. You're good.
Last week we played kind of like Would You Rather, that kind of thing. Zach Bobner, thank you for letting us borrow that. I hope you see this. Follow me, man. God, you're
Bobner, come on the show, bro.
Y'all are awesome.
Come on the show.
I got a question for you, though. So I heard Arians talking about kind of a lack of game speed, just kind of a lack of getting live reps, what the preseason gives you.
Because you don't want to hit each other at full speed all the time. It gets old. The players don't want to do it.
Do you have any concern with there being kind of a Donovan Smith who was opting out? Now he's not waiting a Tristan Wirth.
Yeah.
Do you have any concern about the lack of live reps, kind of a full speed? Do you have any concern about that?
I do with Tristan Wirth because he's a rookie. So you have to worry about his lack of live reps when it's a rookie. With Donovan Smith, I don't worry because every other player in the league is dealing with the same stuff.
Even though Cam Jordan is talking that.
Cam Jordan can talk about the shit he wants to right now because game one, we're going to see what's real Cam Jordan.
And I told you about the first thing. There's not going to be any fans in New Orleans. So that's an empty, pre-recorded stadium.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
You're not going to have the same impact on the Bucs that you would had you had 40,000 people in the stadium.
And my thing is okay, Cam Jordan, if you're beating our offensive line and sacking our quarterback, if we're doing the same thing to yours, are you going to talk shit about your offensive lineman the same way?
He said that Tom Brady and the Bucs are playing for second. No, I'm sorry, we're not.
No,
we're not.
No, sir. I'm sorry to tell you, but hey, listen, guy. Okay, y'all lose to the Vikings every year.
They do.
I don't want to hear that. Okay, I don't want to hear.
Breeze is just as old as Brady. I'm not looking that up. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure they are very close in age.
You want to know who the backup is in New Orleans?
Been there, done that.
That guy, Jameis Winston.
Jameis Williams. And that's for you running Night Train Lane. Jameis Williams.
I've always been a supporter of Jameis Winston. So
always.
You know that. I don't have no problem with Jameis. But I wouldn't mind facing him because he's known to throw a few interceptions.
So he's working out with the twos. I've heard he's throwing he's overthrown a couple receivers. Blah, blah, blah. We got Brady.
You know the Saints are going to put nothing horrible out. They're going to say, oh, he's fine. He looks good. I don't know why the Bucs got rid of him.
We do.
Come on, bro.
30-30. And that's not an ESPN
30 episode. For 30. That's not an ESPN episode, bro. I promise you that is the first 30 for 30 guy ever. Yeah. He's not the first guy to throw 30 touchdowns, but he is the first guy to throw 30 interceptions. And while I love Jameis Winston, it was just time.
Look, as Bucs fans, we all know if there was anyone who was going to, we would be talking about Jameis right now.
If it wasn't for Brady,
can you blame us?
No, because look, man, if it wasn't for Brady, Jameis would be the guy, and I would be arguing it down with anybody who said different.
And we're both Gator fans. We would both be advocating for Jameis Winston. However, we got Brady right now, and I don't care if this is a new system.
No,
Brady is Brady.
It doesn't matter.
The GOAT does not just stop because you go to a new team. The GOAT continues. It translates.
And this is for people who think he was just a system guy. We're going to find out this year.
So Rob Parker said today, Rob Parker thinks.
Rob Parker.
I know. Oh, 2 first names. Okay, Ricky Bobby. Okay. I'm sorry. I got off topic. Rob Parker thinks that Cam Newton, he said today he bet 10 wings to Jason McIntyre, the Bucs don't even make the playoffs this year.
I'd be willing to take that bet. Rob Parker, where you at? Bet me them 10 wings.
Come on. I got 8 follows on Twitter. Give me 80.
We'll both put up 10 wings, and if you win, we'll give you 20.
Thomas P's up the street, got the best wings in town.
Listen, you win, we'll give you 10 apiece. That's 20. We win, you give us 10, we'll split them 5 and 5.
Bucs make the playoffs before Cam Newton and Belichick. We know that.
Put your money where your mouth is, Rob Parker.
So, look. We're breaking in new linemen. We're breaking in new kickers. We need these 2 scrimmages coming up to be kind of
absolutely.
Just to kind of
you're gonna need them because you don't have those preseason games where you're playing versus another team. You don't have those practices, those inter squad practices where you're practicing versus another team. You need to hit somebody else besides your own guys.
September 13th. Remember that.
check it out. Like 3 weeks away. We're very close.
We did, ladies and gentlemen. How do you feel about that, man?
Bro, I love this fucking show. So, I really do.
Again, Brew and Orange. You can't really see it. It doesn't matter.
We're going to be coming out with more content.
You see the brew. You see the orange. Go to the brewandorange.com website. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just type in Brew and Orange. You will see it all.
We're on YouTube right now.
That's it. So thank you for the 2 people. Mercedes, you're a saint. Thank you for being on here. Go Rays. Go Bucks.
Top of 9th right now. Still 4-4.
Hey, tune into this game because I got a feeling the Rays are going to come out on top of this one.
We're going to get 3 outs right here, and then we're going to walk it off. Everybody.
So.
Oh!
Renfroe. He may not be hitting the ball, but that catch was spectacular. If ESPN was doing top 10s, that one's going to be. So thank you for, look.
We're gonna hang on. Before we do this, let's watch this replay real quick. Cause golly,
we're seeing it. You need to see it live too.
Woo!
It was good. It was a good catch.
That was a beautiful catch, man.
So here's what we do: Brew and Orange podcast. We thank you for coming out. Check us out. BrewandOrange.com. Just type in Brew and Orange Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. If you need a logo, hit up myself. Cody Brickner, hit up Justin.
Got you.
We'll work something out. We'll get you. I would love for people to start sporting the shirts.
We're going to be wearing them out, so you're going to be seeing them. I'm going to get me a shirt soon.
Absolutely.
Don't worry.
So go support your local breweries. Support your local restaurants. We wear your mask when you go out.
One more cheers.
Hey, go Tampa Breweries. Go Tampa Sports.
Go Bolts.
Yeah.
Go Bucks. Go Rays. And as always, go Gators.